Welcome to Bet On It Monday Night Football Edition. Let's bring in Marco in VR, talk about how the weekend went. I can tell you how my weekend went, and it all started off with that K-State L, and it just went downhill from there. I went 0-2 on my best bets, and I apologize to all of you guys. We got to pick it up, but I'm still 16-9 on the season, but I need to finish out just a little bit stronger. Marco, I'm going to go to you first because we watched the games yesterday at the Westgate. And I said, Marco, what's wrong? You're doing so great on the show. And you kind of said, well, Cal, that's the issue. So thank you for the Giants. Thank you for the Jets.
Well, Kelly, full disclosure, we tell you when we win, I tell you when we lose. And, 2021's been one of the best years I've had in my 40 years in this business. But I can tell you this past week was also one of the worst weeks I've had in the 40 years I've been doing this. Nothing went right this week, and it closed out the only way it could close out with the Cleveland Browns getting 3.5, covering the spread until the final minute and 30 seconds of the game, whatever it was, whenever Baltimore was forced to kick the field goal because they got a holding penalty that prevented them from getting a first down, and there was a 7-second differential between the play clock and the 2-minute warning, which gave Cleveland an extra 40 seconds, and that's it. They kicked the field goal, ended the game, and not a fun week. And I just want to tell everybody that was with me for this weekend, if you bought the 7-day package, I notified customer service this morning. Check your email. We sent you an email this morning, and you're getting a week on me. So check that out in your inbox from WagerTalk today. But Kelly, it's a new week. This is a business that's you're only as good as your last pick. So let's win tonight and we'll be all better.
Yeah, it is $9 Monday over at WagerTalk. So I'm going to figure out who everybody else is on because I hate this game. But before we get into it, I did want to talk about VR. He's been on an absolute tear the last few weeks on the show, 46-38 now on the season. VR, how was your weekend?
I had a great Thanksgiving, a good Friday, gave a little back on Saturday. Had no UFC to fall back on this week, and then crushed it again yesterday. Finished 7-3 in the NFL. I lost a big bet on the Rams, but I don't regret it. Not only because I was able to beat the close, but more importantly, because when I looked at the box score and I saw that what their opponent was able to recover 4 or 5 fumbles, Green Bay, that randomness is just, it's going to happen to you. And that coupled with McVay trusting the analytics too much, when sometimes you got to realize you're not dealing with machines, you're dealing with humans. And more importantly, when talking about analytics, most of those are lagging indicators, what happened in the past, not necessarily leading indicators, which means they're predictive and we should be using them blindly in the future. A lot of differences on how you approach data. So we got to be cautious there. But I'm excited. It's the final month coming up. Right now, over the last 365, still number 1 in profit, but for the year, number 2 in 2021. And I don't want to give up that belt so easily because I finished 2020 number 1. So I'm going to be firing bombs this end of December. This whole next 4 weeks, get ready to see me unloading. Because once that new year comes, like I said, I'm specializing, I'm cutting down volume like you can't believe because I'm going for high ROI. I showed how to profit long-term by grinding and how the betting syndicates do it. I showed you that for almost 5 years. This next step is going to be how to focus in and go after, attack the greatest edges, the greatest ROI positions. And when that's the case, it's not going to be that high volume because you just don't have those kind of edges there. So that's in the future. I feel great. I'm grateful for all our viewers. And that's why, listen here, after we break this game down, I need you to shoot it back because I have some gold. In fact, I'm going to share 2 4% NFL best bets that I already released for this week. I'm going to share a 4% NHL best bet for tonight and a bunch of NBA premium and even some college basketball. That's how I could say thank you to all you guys for your support to the show, to Kelly, to Marco, to me. We love you, and I hope you and your family had a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving this weekend.
I like it. We're ready for some gold on this Monday, but let's get into Monday Night Football opener on the WagerTalk odds screen. Since Seattle was a 3.5-point favorite, we're now seeing pick'ems on the screen, even some -1s. Total around 47.5, a rogue 48 here and there. I'm going to be honest with you, Mark. I'm going to kick it to you first. And my first question is, what do you have up for $9 Monday? And my second question is, how the hell are we going to bet this game? I do not want to touch Seattle right now in their current form. And now here you have Washington football team who just strung together their last 2 wins. And honestly, they're kind of looking like the team I thought they were going to look like back in September. I am so distraught. I think this is one of those games where VR says, you know what? If this was a Sunday morning game, would you bet it? The answer is no.
No, that's a good point, Kelly. If it was a Sunday game, it would be a totally different handicap. And that's going to be part of the handicap. And I'll point that out in a minute of how we arrived at what we've got. One of the plays I do have tonight is this game. You're going to get it free here. But I put my entire Monday package asking about what we got going for a $9 Monday. I'm going to give you my entire all-access card. Bounce back week starts tonight. You'll get everything I released today for $9. One of those plays is the Seattle Seahawks tonight. And if this game was on Sunday, I wouldn't be playing it. So why am I playing it tonight? Because for the Seattle Seahawks, this is a team that's a playoff team year in and year out. If they're not a playoff team, at least they are a playoff contender heading into those final weeks of the season, still in the mix. Those type of teams, when they're not in contention anymore, those are teams you want to fade. Okay, so didn't I just say I was taking Seattle? Yeah, I did. There's 2 instances where those teams will come to play that normally would throw in the towel. If they're playing a division rival where they can play the role of spoiler, they're going to come to play. If they are a standalone game, Thursday, Sunday, Monday Night Football, they're going to come to play. They don't want to be embarrassed. This team will show up tonight. Also, Russell Wilson. Yeah, I know he hasn't been good since he's been back. They lost 17-0 and 23-13. The last 2 games he's come back. Did you happen to notice the 2 teams they played? That was the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals, who are the 2 favorites out of the NFC East to go to the Super Bowl. That's another point. Dropping in class tonight against Washington. Washington's put together a 2-game winning streak. Yes, they beat Tampa Bay. That's an impressive win. We've seen Tampa until yesterday. They were 0 for the season against the spread on the road. Also, that was playoff revenge for Washington in that game. Then they beat Carolina last week with the return of Cam Newton, who was playing his first game of the season. I want to bring up Cam Newton for a second because if you look at Washington and who they've been playing, they haven't faced many mobile quarterbacks. They're going to face one tonight in Russell Wilson. They faced Cam Newton last week, but that was the first game back. But being a mobile quarterback, he did get some yardage on the ground, and he had a good day passing against Washington. You look at the other games, they played Tom Brady, who's a statue. They played Denver and Teddy Bridgewater, who doesn't run the football anymore since his knee injury. They played Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, who really doesn't run the football unless it's a last resort. And then look at the teams in New Orleans. They face them. Jameis Winston will run the football. They put up a lot of points. 33 points did New Orleans. Kansas City with Mahomes. Mahomes will run the football. They put up 30-some points. Russell Wilson will run the football tonight. He's going to will this team to a victory. I like Seattle in this one, and I got a stat that I dug up. As ugly of a game as it is, we still found something to sink our teeth into. And I love team stats, but I love league-wide situations better because that's a bigger sample size. It applies to everybody in the league. When you have a home team that has won 2 of their last 3 games, if they are a losing team on the season, meaning a record of 40 to 49% win percentage, not a horrible team, but a marginal losing team, and they are playing a losing team in the second half of the season, those teams, if you played against them the last 10 years in the NFL, 30-game sample size, 25-5. That play is Seattle tonight. I'm going to go with the Seahawks and call for the win. Let's get the Seahawks tonight on Monday Night Football.
VR, we always talk about buy low spots. This sure looks like a buy low spot on Seattle. Your thoughts on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, it is. Right now, full disclosure, this is not going to be one of the 4% best bets that I'm going to share with you guys because I haven't bet this game yet. I haven't gotten to the window because I'm a little bit confused. Here's the bottom line. I'm being held back because I want to bet Washington with both fists. I just wish this line wasn't discounted, that it was still what it was supposed to be. Let's not forget, it was 2.5 not long ago. It was supposed to be above a field goal. Now, even where it sits, it still reflects Seattle is a road favorite. Even if this goes off at a pick 'em, it reflects Seattle is a road favorite because you have to give a team something for home field, and Washington's 2-3 at home this year. So it's something. So if Seattle's not getting points when this market closes, they are a road favorite. To me, I am 100% in the camp where you have to fade Seattle, where even if I haven't disagreed with Marco this strongly in a long time, and honestly, I could be way off and Seattle could go out there and crush them. But here's my argument. I'm not even betting Washington. I'm fading Seattle. Since Seattle has won 2 games since September 12th, that's it. We're a few days from December, and they have won only 2 games. One of them was against Jacksonville, and the other one was at San Francisco by 1 score. All those other games, they lost. Now you look at the Washington Redskins. What have they done? Yeah, they've won their last 2. One of them was against Tampa Bay as 10-point underdogs, where they've outperformed the betting market. Last week at Carolina, they were on the road as 3-point dogs, where they outperformed the betting market. And then who did they lose to prior to that? They lost to Green Bay. They lost to Kansas City. They lost to New Orleans. They lost to Buffalo. They're not the top echelon of the NFL. It's not like Washington is losing to the Jacksonvilles on, just teams like that. They lost to the elite. But when they stepped down in class, like Carolina, when the market got it wrong, they beat them. When they stepped down in class against the Giants, they beat them. When they stepped down in class against Atlanta, they beat them. And they're stepping down in class here against Seattle, because here's what the metrics tell me. One of the highest correlations to winning football games is success rate, your offensive and defensive success rate. Seattle is 23rd on rushing offensive success rate and 31st on passing offensive success rate. Defensively, Seattle 7th rushing and Washington 6th rushing defensively. And then against the pass, Seattle's 23rd and Washington's 19th. So even the analytics, Washington's much better. So not only do I have a team that's at home, that's outperformed the betting market over the last 2 weeks, so they're coming in on an up trajectory. Their opponent has only scored 13 points in the last 120 minutes. So they got shut out in Green Bay and they only put up 13 in Arizona. And I'm going to lay 110 to win 100 for the privilege of backing Seattle. Again, there's 10 NBA games on the board. There's 30 college basketball games on the board. There's NHL. There's bowl games up. Conference championships. There's next week's NFL. If you're going to pay admission to back Seattle tonight, the argument to me is just very hard to make. Again, there's so much randomness to the outcome of any game, and Seattle could go out there and crush them. But my goal has always been to place good bets. And I just don't see anywhere that Seattle on the road as a favorite should pop up as a good bet. That to me, that's where I'm confused. That I'm waiting to see, are the betting syndicates going to steam this Washington side, or is that it? They took the 2.5, or they took the better number, and whatever. We'll see what the market does over these next 5-6 hours. That's what's going to decide it for me, because everything I have, all the metrics point to Washington. The situation, like I said, the trajectories of two teams point to Washington. This is as big of a game as it gets for Washington. They're not going to the Super Bowl. It's Monday Night Football at home against Seattle. This is a big game. To me, it's Redskins or leave the game alone. Like I tweeted last week with Tampa Bay. If I remember, I'll try to do it again if I fire. But that's where I'm on, Kelly. And again, I hate to disagree with Marco because he knows the respect I have for him. And especially in NFL, if he's going to step up on a primetime game, like, and bet a road favorite, he's got to feel strongly about it. And again, people I respect, I'm not going to fade them lightly. So I'll have to get more confirmation to get to the window. But that was my thoughts coming in. And if Marco, I swear to you, would have defended the Washington side, I would have sent out a 4% play right as we speak. No lie, I would have done that right away. I just need confirmation. See, I got anti-confirmation. I look for those flags. But that's where I stand right now with, again, 5.5 hours till kickoff, 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm with you, VR. This is just such a tough one. I think it's the best scenario just to stay away. Marco, I wanted to kick it back to you because the more I was looking at it while you guys were both talking, I do lean towards the under here. Any opinion on the total?
Yeah, you would have to think about the under in this one because Seattle is not a team that generally is going to put a ton of points up on the board. And we know Pete Carroll's tendencies, and those tendencies are driving Russell Wilson batshit crazy, no other way to put it about, he's not happy there, is that they are too conservative. So if Seattle has a lead, yes, they will be milking the clock and running the football. That's what Pete Carroll likes to do. So if I like Seattle, that's the way you got to look.
Real quick, actionable information, Kel. If you see reverse line movement, and for this game, that's going to be the opposite of what we've become accustomed to, meaning this is a primetime game, and usually you expect the money to come in from the recreational bettors on the over. They lean, that's the bias, that's where it's shaded. But so far, at least ticket count and money bet from those recreational bettors, it all appears to be pointing towards them liking the under. And you're seeing the market shade that way. Like it's going from 48, there's 47.5, but you see Pinnacle still at 48. They just shaded the under a little bit. So that 47s you see at some of the other offshore books or even strip books, it hasn't been steam moving that under. So if you see this go back to 48, like before kickoff across the board, or even higher, 48.5 or up, rest assured that's short money betting that over. It's steam that's moving that, because I'm seeing that market going down.
No, you're absolutely right. That is exactly what's going on here. I hadn't looked at the ticket splits on this game, but it does look like if you will, recreational bettors are leaning towards this under as well. More confirmation for me to stay the hell away from this game because VR has got some gold for all of us.
Yeah, let's go. Let's start NFL right away. We got out ahead of the market. We bet the under 48 in Denver, Kansas City. I love that play as well. Made it a 4% best bet for subscribers. Then that's probably going to be the steam play this week. So if you agree with me, get on it. As you can see, it's already at 47.5, I believe. And then we didn't want it. It's getting to 3, Cincinnati. One of those, we want to get out ahead of the key number. And it made sense. Usually I'd be afraid to bet a team that looked as good as Cincinnati, but we bet them big yesterday. And I think they're still undervalued, and we're lucky they're playing a good team next week. That's where you're still getting value here, because I don't think the market's concluded that Cincinnati's good yet. And they really are. We saw that yesterday. So there's some NFL. In the NBA, here's what they bet. 525 under Portland, Utah, 223.5. 522 Dallas -5.5, -6. and over 210.5 in that game. And then Minnesota on the money line and -2. The only bet I released to subscribers out of that whole pile is Minnesota on the money line as a 3%. So not a best bet, but that's the only NBA play I touched so far out of those. But they are steam, legit premium moves that groups got down on. And then in the NHL, Grand Salami. I've been on fire with these. That shouldn't give you more confidence, but I made it a 4% best bet. And we bet home goals versus away goals. We took the home goals to be higher. We laid 160, came back, laid 165, came back, laid 170. So I gave it out to my subscribers as a 4% play. And finally, real quickly, I'll give you to college basketball. I haven't had a chance to dig into this group yet. This is where, if any plays come out of, because again, I'm one person show. We had a show to do. I had all this work to confirm. So I'll roll them off real fast. 827 Wyoming -2.5 and the under 142.5. 819 Grand Canyon +4.5. 815 Notre Dame +5.5, +5 and +4.5. 812 Oral Roberts -1. 806 Virginia +1. 807 over 154. 816 Illinois money line -175. May want to pass on that. 825 over 137.5 Tarleton Gonzaga. 815 over 138 Notre Dame. And then the junk games, the 306-00 bullshit. 003 over 129.5 Appalachian State. 007 and North Carolina Central +11. And finally 008 Gardner Webb -1. I haven't dug into any of those college basketball. If I bet anything tonight, it's going to come out of that group. That's how I work my stuff. We're crushing it so far this year in college basketball, so use that how you wish, follow or fade. Just hope you make some money tonight, this week, and the year coming ahead. God bless. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, VR, for that gold. I agree with that 815 on Notre Dame. I did take a terrible number. I have +4, but that's because I was late to the party doing other stuff and nursing a hangover from hanging out with Marco in Vegas yesterday.
If I bet it, I'm going to have to use the same number, Kel, like with subscribers, because it's where it is now. I'm honest. It's where they are now is what I could get. They already moved too for me.
Very, very good point. Thank you guys for hanging out with us each and every Monday here on Bet On It. From Ralph, Marco, VR, and myself, we will see you guys at our normal time on Wednesday evening. This week, we're just doing the NFL show with a college best bet for championship weekend. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Until then, let's bet on it.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com. All daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including $40 5% best bets. As an added bonus, all new users will receive $25 in wager bucks credited to their accounts, available for immediate use after their initial $9 Monday purchase. So make sure to take advantage of $9 Mondays at WagerTalk.com.